Right now on Good Morning America First Look, the U.S. military reportedly using a laser and mistakenly shooting down a border protection drone over Texas. Lawmakers now demanding answers, sounding the alarm about air safety. The Pentagon responding overnight.
And new questions about airport security after authorities say a woman who previously boarded a flight from New York to Europe without a ticket managed to do it yet again. Well, we're learning about her trip this time.
New video in the search for Nancy Guthrie, the car seen on video the night she was taken.
And a growing scam, people losing their life savings buying gold. Jewelry stores in multiple states now raided.
The potential media merger that could change the TV and movie landscape. What Paramount's takeover of Warner Brothers could mean for Hollywood and now for streaming costs.
A dramatic video from a popular ski resort. A man suddenly becoming buried in snow, and at a different resort, we hear from this skier left dangling off the chairlift.
Caught on camera, a hippo jumps out of the water, flipping this boat overseas.
And the daughter of a Major League Baseball star writes a letter to his team asking them to re-sign her dad. Would the 8-year-old get her wish?
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America First Look.
Good Friday morning, everyone. I'm Hannah Batam.
And I'm Faith Abubey in for Sophie. And we begin this morning with a developing story. The U.S. military reportedly using a laser to shoot down a border protection drone over Texas.
Members of Congress are raising the alarm about this. It comes just weeks after the airspace around El Paso, Texas was suddenly closed, sparking confusion and chaos. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the details. Nicole, good morning.
Well, Hannah, good morning. This incident is raising concerns about the safety in the sky, and it's also raising concern about a perceived lack of communication between government agencies. Overnight, concern and outrage after a group of congressmen announced the Department of Defense mistakenly shot down a Customs and Border Protection drone near El Paso, Texas, prompting the FAA to restrict flights in the area around Fort Hancock.
For the Department of Defense to shoot down a Customs and Border Protection drone would demonstrate a shocking breakdown in air domain awareness.
In a joint statement, 3 Democratic congressmen saying, "Our heads are exploding over the news." They claim the Trump administration has sidestepped a bill that would have trained drone operators and improved communication between government agencies, including the FAA and Homeland Security. But the administration says it's working to mitigate drone threats by Mexican cartels and foreign terrorist organizations at the U.S.-Mexico border, and insist the engagement took place far away from populated areas, and there were no commercial aircraft in the vicinity.
In geographic areas where military and civilian law enforcement aircraft are working together, there's always good communication and coordination. So it's unclear to me why at the southern border right now that type of coordination doesn't exist.
Earlier this month, an anti-drone laser was deployed by Border Patrol without FAA coordination. That prompted the temporary closure of airspace over El Paso. One source said the laser was fired at a balloon, while the administration said it was fired at a Mexican cartel drone.
I don't want to hear the spin. I don't want to hear the cover-up. I want to hear the facts. We saw how the lack of coordination between the FAA and the Department of Defense can lead to widespread confusion.
No, I don't think there's a lack of communication. We all know each other well, and we all communicate well.
And Senator Tammy Duckworth, a Democrat on the Aviation Subcommittee, calls the drone shoot-down alarming. She's demanding an independent investigation. Faith.
Nicole, thank you. A convicted stowaway who once flew from New York to Paris with no boarding pass, no passport, has been arrested once again. This time, officials say she snuck onto a United Airlines flight from Newark to Milan, again with no boarding pass. She was arrested when the plane landed. The TSA is now investigating how it could have happened again.
The concern, obviously, is how is she bypassing both security and then gate agents for the airline. She's hidden in the lavatories or just tried to evade any scrutiny just to get from one place to another.
And on her previous attempt, she blended into the crowd at the gate before walking onto the plane undetected. She was sentenced to time served after she was convicted and was supposed to receive mental health treatment.
ABC News has learned President Trump has reviewed the draft of a new executive order calling for him to declare an emergency over election security. The order would potentially give him sweeping power over voting in the U.S. Some pro-Trump attorneys are pushing this move, claiming without evidence that China interfered in the 2020 election. There is no indication yet whether President Trump will actually issue the order. Meanwhile, the Justice Department has sued to obtain the voter rolls in 5 more states, officials claiming it's part of their oversight duties.
And now to the search for Nancy Guthrie and the new video being analyzed by investigators.
This video obtained by Fox News is now part of the investigation into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie nearly 1 month after she was taken from her Tucson home. A Ring camera captured the video of a car about 2.5 miles from Guthrie's house at around the same time she was abducted in the overnight hours of February 1st. It's not clear yet if the car is linked to the case. Meanwhile, sources tell ABC News the FBI is ready to turn over Guthrie's house back to her daughter Savannah and her family. Agents no longer consider the home a crime scene. The FBI is now moving its command post to Phoenix, where agents will continue to analyze thousands of hours of video and 1,500 tips that came in after Savannah offered a $1 million reward for information leading to her mother's recovery.
Someone out there knows something that can bring her home.
And authorities say anyone who provides a crucial tip in the case can remain anonymous and still collect that reward.
The Trump administration has not yet committed to more nuclear talks with Iran scheduled for next week. Iran claims progress was made during yesterday's talks, but no deal was announced. President Trump says Iran must end its nuclear program or face U.S. military action. But Vice President J.D. Vance says there is no chance of a years-long conflict in Iran. When asked about lessons from Iraq, Vance told The Washington Post, quote, "Just because one president screwed up a military conflict doesn't mean we can never engage in military conflict again. We've got to be careful about it. I think the president is being careful."
Hillary Clinton spent 6 hours answering questions from lawmakers about Jeffrey Epstein. The former Secretary of State dismissed the hearing as partisan political theater.
I don't know how many times I had to say I did not know Jeffrey Epstein. I never went to his island. I never went to his homes. I never went to his offices.
We're seeing accountability, but we have a desire to see a lot more accountability. We want to get the answers, and hopefully the next 2 days will be a step in the right direction.
And former President Bill Clinton will answer questions today, becoming the first former president to appear before a congressional committee. The questioning is happening behind closed doors. The Clintons are not accused of any wrongdoing.
Now to a growing scam across the country. People losing their life savings after trying to secure their future by purchasing gold. Now jewelry stores in several states have been raided as authorities crack down.
It's the alleged multi-state fraud scheme involving more than $150 million in gold.
This is an epidemic.
These photos show some of the $100 million in gold and cash seized yesterday from just 2 stores, one near Orlando, Florida, the other in Atlanta. Authorities say another $50 million was seized at a store in Texas last month. The 3 locations were allegedly central to a network of fraudsters that laundered stolen gold, melted it down, made it into jewelry, then sold it or smuggled it out of the country.
We just had a report of a person in Indiana yesterday losing $1.2 million in cash.
Authorities say the fraudsters would contact victims, often seniors, via email or text. Then, posing as law enforcement, they would convince the victims that they were in legal trouble or that their bank account had been hacked. Victims were then told to withdraw their savings, purchase gold bars, and hand them over to couriers for safekeeping.
It goes to these jewelry stores where it's smelted down and made into bangles, for example, and then a person can just simply put those on, get on an airplane, and leave the country.
At least 200 victims have now been identified. Some lost more than $1 million each.
This is a very sophisticated, smart group of criminals. This is happening in many jurisdictions across the United States.
So far, nearly 24 suspects have been arrested in this case.
Violent storms outside Birmingham, Alabama, spawned at least 1 confirmed tornado, damaging about 20 homes. Hail the size of golf balls was reported, along with downed trees and downed power lines. And now let's get a check of your forecast.
Good morning. It's showers in the southeast, record heat in the southwest. We're looking at more wintry weather, northern plains and the Midwest over the weekend. Meanwhile, 62 Chicago today, but a little light snow over the weekend in the northeast is nice and more melting. Until this snow on Saturday, light snow in Chicago moves into the northeast, could be a coating to inch or so in the New York City area. And another storm means snow from the Midwest into the mid-Atlantic as we go into Monday. More snow, ice, and rain Tuesday and Wednesday into the northeast. That's your forecast. I'm ABC News meteorologist Lee Goldberg. Have a great weekend.
Coming up, a man stuck in the mud for days is finally rescued.
Also ahead, Netflix bows out, clearing the way for Paramount to take over Warner Brothers, what it could mean for television, movies, and the cost of streaming services.
And later, the roommate caught on camera doing this in the kitchen. Back now with the wild moment, a hippo explodes out of the water, flipping this boat in South Africa. The man in the boat scrambled back on top of it. It was part of an effort to tranquilize the hippo and move it back to the farm it escaped from during some recent flooding.
A man in Florida was rescued after spending several days stuck in mud with no food or water. Well, he was stuck shoulder deep in mud and was brought to a hospital in critical condition. Officials say no charges are expected because of his mental health issues.
A big headline for Hollywood, a potential mega deal that could reshape the world of TV and movie production as streaming prices continue to climb. Here's ABC's Andrea Fujii.
This morning, a potential mega merger that could dramatically alter the media landscape. Netflix has backed out of its bid to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, paving the way for rival Paramount Skydance to take over.
Netflix is accustomed to winning, and this was, I think, a very sort of humbling moment for the company.
The company said it would not raise its offer after Warner Brothers determined Paramount's new bid of $31 per share was a superior proposal. That amounts to a $111 billion offer.
I think that ultimately for the subscriber, you are gaining access to much larger content. Like there's a lot more selection there to keep you happy.
The news coming on the same day Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos visited the White House amid concern from critics that a merger could create a monopoly, reducing the number of production outlets for TV and films. Insiders say Paramount CEO David Ellison's connection to President Trump may have tipped the scales. Ellison attended the State of the Union address this week as a guest of Senator Lindsey Graham.
David Ellison's father is famously a vocal Trump supporter, and that was an asset for him, and he was not shy about talking about how that level of access and influence was going to be important.
The potential mega merger means Warner Brothers assets, including HBO, movie franchises like Harry Potter, and news network CNN could now join forces with Paramount, which owns CBS. What could it mean for consumers? Analysts say don't expect any deals on streaming services anytime soon.
The cost of content is always rising. That's contributed to an overall just continual rise in subscription costs from these streaming services. And I expect that Paramount Plus will also be part of that generalized trend.
The Trump administration is expected to approve the merger, but states could try to block it. California's Attorney General says an investigation is already underway. Hannah, Faith.
Andrea, thank you. All right, coming up, an important safety recall for people who cook on Weber grills.
Also ahead, the terrifying moment this skier becomes buried under snow.
And we're back with a recall of more than 3 million Weber barbecue grill. Actually, the grill brushes. The wire bristles can break off and get into food and cause serious injuries if you happen to swallow them. The brushes have been sold nationwide for 15 years. We have a list of the product numbers affected on our website, abcnews.com.
A California man is under arrest, accused of trying to poison his roommates. Surveillance video shows him spraying something on their food. The roommates claim that was bug spray. They say they got so sick they had to visit the ER multiple times. Investigators say the roommate might have a mental disability. The DA is expected to consider charges.
And we turn now to dramatic video from a California ski resort. A man suddenly finds himself buried in snow.
Hey, they good?
We're now hearing from the two men who rescued the skier who suddenly became buried deep in the snow of Northern California. It was a total whiteout for their first run of the day at Palisades Tahoe when Carson Schmidt and Eric Masuda spotted a pair of ski tips pointing straight out of the deep powder.
When he uncovered his face, his mouth was just stuffed with snow, or I used my finger and actually unclogged his mouth, and you hear a big gasp of air.
Okay. You okay? Yeah. Oh.
His face was like a purplish blue.
The skier was not hurt and rushed off to rejoin his wife.
We were like, oh my God, that was close. And he was like, that was the most scared I've ever been. Adrenaline was flowing for us.
The rescue coming just days after 9 skiers were killed during an avalanche about 20 miles away in Castle Peak. Palisades Tahoe writing, quote, when conditions are this deep, it doesn't take an avalanche or a tree well for someone to become buried. Snow immersion can happen even in open terrain.
Oh my God.
A few hundred miles south of Big Bear, the danger was above the snow. A woman slipped out of her chairlift seat and was left dangling by her arms.
It was high enough for it to look like death. I'm panicking. I'm gonna die.
For the rest of the ride, she depended on the strength of her twin sister and their best friend, desperately trying to keep her from falling.
We had her, but if she continued to keep moving, it was gonna split.
They eventually made it to the top, her sister now encouraging everyone to keep the chairlift safety bar down at all times.
Had the bar not been there, I don't think we would have been as lucky as we were. Like, seriously, put the bar down.
And some advocates are now pushing for a new law to require safety bars be lowered during chairlift rides.
Coming up, how AI is changing fast food drive-thrus.
Plus, the debate over banning pajamas at the airport. All that and more coming up after the break. We'll be right back.
Time to check the pulse. We start with a dress code at the airport.
You heard it right. The airport in Tampa now making waves after posting a message saying that it's banning pajamas, saying the madness stops today. Of course, it's all a joke, but it's getting a lot of feedback online.
Yeah, the U.S. Transportation Secretary agrees. He recently urged people to stop wearing pajamas to bring what he called civility and respect back to air travel. Okay, next, Burger King is testing new headsets powered by artificial intelligence.
Yeah, employees beware. Apparently, the headsets will tell the manager how many times an employee is actually saying please and thank you to their guests. But Burger King says that capability is only meant to be a coaching tool. And next, a wish granted for the daughter of a Toronto Blue Jays pitcher, Max Scherzer.
Yeah, so his 8-year-old daughter, Brooke, wrote a letter to the team last December. In it, she said she was sorry the Blue Jays lost the World Series, but that she hoped her dad would be back on the team this season because her family loves spending time in Toronto.
How sweet. All right, good news here. Brooke, your dad, and the Blue Jays just agreed to a one-year deal.
Wish granted.
Yes. And next, a soccer game where goals were not the main attraction.
Yeah, a player took center stage for performing CPR on a seagull. The bird was knocked unconscious by the ball, but the player revived it and saved its life. Checking more top stories, members of Congress say the U.S. military used a laser and mistakenly shot down a U.S. border protection drone near El Paso, Texas. The incident prompted the FAA to restrict flights near Fort Hancock, Texas. Some Democrats are now demanding answers on safety and communication between government agencies.
A Columbia University student detained by immigration agents has been released. The university claims the agents gained entry by saying they were police looking for a missing child, and then they detained the student. But the agency denies that accusation.
Instagram will soon be rolling out a new feature for parents. It'll alert them if their teenager repeatedly searches for terms linked to self-harm. The feature will be available later this year.
And mortgage rates have dropped once again, falling below 6% for the first time since 2022. Some analysts expect a jump in home buying this spring.
Today's weather: snow near the Great Lakes and in the northern plains, showers in the southeast, and 62 degrees in Chicago ahead of some snow there tomorrow.
And finally, speaking of snow, one family can't get enough of it.
Here's Danny New.
If you're driving in Shirley, Massachusetts this week, you might stop and say, surely that's not a 20-foot snowman.
You're the only person who wants more snow.
Yes, that's very likely the truth.
Over the past year, the Alarood family has become famous around New England for its rotund ice behemoth named Parker, whom Eric spends all winter constructing.
So every snowstorm we get this year, I just started piling in that pile there with my snowblower.
His hat is a trash can on a 4-foot piece of plywood. His light-up eyes are screwed in with 2-foot-long pegs so they don't fall. And after that recent blizzard, Eric says Parker now stands at 23 feet high, 25 feet wide, which I estimate to be about 15 Olafs. Actually, Parker's first incarnation came last winter at a puny 15 feet. Around that time, Eric and his wife Katie had just welcomed their daughter, Emerson, and Eric was just not prepared for that kind of downtime.
She sleeps a lot when she's younger, and I'm like, oh, we got to do something. So I built a small one out front just for fun.
Any girl.
Well, this year, Emerson gets a much, much bigger snowman to enjoy. In fact, Eric even roped in his identical twin brother, Tim, to come help him out, and not just so they could take the most epic photo in the history of brothers.
We get the head completely built, and then we go down and start carving. And we carve the middle one, and then we carve the bottom one.
It's a lot of work, but Eric says the best part is seeing all of the people come to take photos with Parker, sometimes driving from hours away.
I honestly believe there was a plane circling, taking a look at this thing. It went around 3 times.
Well, you can see it.
Yeah. So.
Now, I should clarify, guys. His name is Parker because that's the road they live on, but next year, many people in town want Eric to build Parker a wife and name her Shirley, after the town, Shirley, Massachusetts.
Love it. That's your Good Morning America First Look.
Have a great day.